Hey crafters, I'm Rabia, also known as the LondonCraftGirl, and here on this channel I share craft tutorials because the world is just a better place when you made something that wasn't there before.
Oh, that's nice!
How exciting! The channel has reached 500 subscribers. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate everybody who watches my videos, and hopefully you guys find them useful and that they bring a little bit of extra joy to your life. It's so crazy to think that something that has been a hobby for me for so many years is now something that I can share with so many of you. So thank you for being here, and to celebrate I have done a little bit of a Q&A. I posted on my Instagram stories a few weeks back. Any questions you guys wanted to ask, I will answer them for you. So I've got them here on my phone. Let's get going. Confucius Me asks, how did you get into craft? What was the moment you realized you could teach it to others? This is a difficult question. How did I get into it? I feel like that has just been like a slow burn for like years. Okay, so my first introduction to craft was probably when we decided to somehow switch from giving each other money on Eid to giving actual gifts. So, usually growing up, our parents would just give us like a $5 or a $10 as our Eid.
It's me, knock knock. So, you got my money?
But then once we kind of all grew up and got married, like amongst the siblings, somehow we decided giving gifts. And one year I was like, you know what? This year I'm going to wrap my gifts and it is going to be way better than the others. And yeah, I don't know, I was being competitive about it, and I just kind of went on the internet and found some really cool origami style, Japanese style inspired gift wrapping. So I guess that is how I first got into crafting. And then slowly over the years, I just kind of brought in more and more different kinds of craft. And so yeah, today I am a fully obsessed crafter. And then the other part of your question, what was the moment you realized you could teach it to others? That's hard. I guess I've always been teaching in some way or another. I have actually had Saturday jobs as a teacher. My career is not as a teacher. I'm not a trained teacher. But I think really what it is that I just found I was, excuse me, just get some water, excuse me. Okay, that's hopefully better. I think so what I was saying about when I discovered I could teach this, I don't know if I really had a moment like that. I just started crafting a lot in lockdown and really enjoyed it and wanted to share it, and it's just kind of one thing led to another. Okay, so I've got a question from Renchu asking, what was the most meaningful craft you've made someone? Most recently, I would say it was like a wall art print that I made for my mother-in-law. What I did was I went around her garden last summer when we were allowed, to meet in gardens, and I took pictures of all the beautiful flowers that were in bloom in her garden. My mother-in-law and father-in-law are like really fantastic gardeners, and their garden is beautiful, and it was full of all these wonderful flowers at that time. So I took some of those pictures and I traced them on the computer, and then I was able to foil them onto card using the new Cricut foil transfer kit. So to me, that's a gift that, has some meaning behind it. I'm usually so terrible at choosing gifts for people. And so I've kind of decided from now on, I will just try and do things along this line and be a little bit more crafty in the way that I give gifts, because buying things from the shops, I never know what people want. I'm just terrible at it. But this felt like, it's something handmade, personal by me that my mother-in-law would quite like. Okay, Juliana asks, have you tried origami? Actually, I have. I actually first got introduced to origami when I was in the brownies, when I was a teenager. And I don't know what I did, but for some reason I won a prize, and it was like a set of origami papers. So I tried a few things back then. I wasn't particularly good at it. I'm actually a massive hoarder. So that set of origami papers, I kept them for like the next 2 decades, and only recently did I give them to a friend of mine because her son is quite into origami. So I was like, he'll use them. I haven't touched them in years. So I have tried it, but I haven't gone that deep into it, and I'm not particularly good. Although I would say that the gift wrapping that I like to do is kind of a sort of origami, because that's all about folding paper in nice ways. Oh, another question from Juliana. What do you like to do whilst you're crafting? Listen to music, audiobooks, or TV? Definitely audiobooks or podcasts. So one that I really enjoy at the moment is Fern Cotton's Happy Place. So basically, my crafting journey really sort of escalated during lockdown, March 2020. I have 2 young kids, and I just remember it was like a scorching hot summer that year, and we'd have like these long, like lovely but exhausting days with the kids, and then they would finally go to sleep, and I would detox or, you know, de-stress from the day by just crafting. That was how I came across this podcast, Happy Place, which is all about sort of talking to people about their experiences and maybe trouble that they've had, but also then how they've sort of coped with those things and sort of got through it. So I found that to be quite a nice companion at that time of my life with everything that was going on. It just felt very stressful, and this was a nice insight into the fact that other people, celebrities, also have bad times and can feel sad and find ways to deal with it. So that's usually what I listen to. A question from the Chatty Medic. Do you have any creative inspirations in the crafting community? If I would say there's like a particular kind of design aesthetic that I aspire to, then I love Sarah Miller. Her design, the things that she makes, you know, I have her whole tea set, teapot, all that. It's really stunning. She uses colors in such wonderful ways, and she has like goil? She has gold foiled accents in like everything she makes, and that is precisely what I love. I do really love Sarah Miller's designs and her style. What I haven't told you is that I'm relatively new to the Cricut world. So as I said, you know, maybe 10 years ago, I first got into crafting through gift wrapping. And then slowly over the years, I've tried out different kinds of crafts. So I'd say it was February 2020 that I got my Cricut Maker. And I was definitely one of those people that was completely overwhelmed, had no idea what to do with this thing. And that was when I discovered kind of the big Cricut YouTubers like Jennifer Maker, Kayla's Creations. So definitely in terms of kind of learning how to use the machine and tutorials, those Jennifer and Kayla, big inspirations. Question from Kaysara. What's your bucket list project you would like to complete in the love to complete in the next 10 years? Okay, I have to say that has got to be the craft room. I don't know if that's exactly the kind of answer you were looking for, but I have this amazing craft room. I have a video tour of it on my channel. I'll link for you if you want to go and check it out. But the space, I started using it last summer. So again, in the middle of COVID, lockdown, all of that. Because of that, it's just been an empty room. Like we managed to kind of, in the times when it was allowed, we quickly fitted some carpet, put a lick of paint on the walls, but there's no furniture, there's no proper desk, no nothing. So if I can actually get this space finished and looking beautiful, that would be amazing. And if it were to happen in the next 10 years, that would also be just wow. Question from Saving Graces. Why Cricut? How did that happen? So I actually have to blame my sister-in-law for this. She's actually been like my craft feeder for like the last 10 years because she herself is already very crafty. She's also a Cricut user, but historically more of like a sewist. But basically, yeah, like she's kind of 5-10 steps ahead of me in terms of like crafting and knowing what different toys there are out there for crafting with. So she's been really good over the years on my birthday with sort of introducing me to a new craft. So, you know, one year she got me a hand die cutting machine, and then I think the next year she introduced me to embossing powders. That was properly like magic.
I love magic.
Like I'd never heard of embossing powders before, but they're just like the most beautiful thing. Then it was last year that she got the family together and they bought me a Cricut Maker. So if you're wondering how I got so obsessed with Cricut, blame Romana at the Little Pomegranate. It's definitely her fault. Question from Anorial Art. Would you rather grow a vegetable garden or a flower garden, and why? This question is hilarious because I would do neither, because all that would happen is everything would wilt and die in my very terrible non-green fingered hands. I am terrible at gardening and terrible at houseplants, and I mean, if I suddenly developed the skill to do this, I would probably do flowers because they're pretty. But then again, vegetables are functional, so I actually don't think I could choose. It's too hard, I can't choose. Another one from Anorial Art. What is your favorite herb? Granola. And another question from the Chatty Medic. What are your goals for 2021? This is a tough one. I would love it if I could, by the end of this year, have continued to share with you my craft projects, inspirations, tutorials, help you guys to get your head around things like Inkscape and your Cricut machines, and also inspire you to, if you're not into crafting, maybe to give it a try, or maybe you are already a crafter and I'd love to see you guys trying out the designs that I come up with. That would be such an honor to see other people wanting to recreate things that I've designed. But yeah, mostly just, getting to know this fantastic community of crafters and just, sharing more of what I love with the people who I know love the same thing. Alright guys, thank you for watching this Q&A. It was really fun to just sit and chat to you guys today. But yeah, let me know if you have any requests on particular videos. I'm running like an Inkscape series, but if there's some particular topic I haven't covered yet and you really want me to, then just drop me a note in the comments below, or if there's something particular on your Cricut machines that you're confused with, or a particular festival that you want inspiration for. I love to just get a bit creative and come up with like fun and slightly different ideas for projects for whatever the occasion might be. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next video, and until then, happy crafting!